Welcome yet again to Can You Believe It? We are with Michael Morrissey today, and Michael will share with us a little bit about his experiences on the issue of diversity and culture, his experiences with relating to people from different backgrounds and different ethnicities, different backgrounds from around the world. Michael, after being in Chicago for so long, I know this is a hot spot when it comes to issues of race and diversity. So, what have been your experiences with relating to others?
Well, first it's people are always like, why do you care? Because of my skin color, my gender, things like that. They're like, this is weird, because I guess most people kind of navigate towards people that are like themselves, and I've always been different. But like I've had so one experience I had a black friend of mine, and I brought him to a party, and it was another black person's party, and but it was based on playing video games. So I just brought my friend over there. I was playing in a video game tournament, and my friend I'm is getting grilled by another black person, like, why do you hang out with this white guy? And
Mm.
he's like, because he's my friend. Like, we hung out, we just meet up. We met through a random friend of ours, and we've had a good relationship ever since. Like, why wouldn't I hang out with this? And we were just kind of looking at each other with this puzzled face, like,
Wow.
why would you say that? Like,
Yeah.
that's such a weird question.
Yeah.
But once you get past that, you realize that we're all people.
Right.
We come from different backgrounds, different cultures, and
Mhm.
in this amalgamation, which is American culture.
Right.
And there are definitely advantages and disadvantages. I think that for me, I've experienced white privilege. I have to say that's the way it is, and
Mhm.
I could get an examples of
That,
that.
that's deep. That's right there. You saying you've experienced what?
White privilege.
What does that look like?
What does that look like?
Yeah.
Me,
How do you define white privilege?
if I was in these situations that I've been talking, that I could talk about, basically, if I was someone of a different gender or different uh, ethnicity, it could have gone down a much different path that would have been more destructive for me. But because I was a white male, I got out of getting in trouble.
Mm.
And I think that it's just the kind of the way our system's set up,
Mm.
where it's not very conducive to being egalitarian,
So you're
pretty
saying
much.
there is systemic uh, privileges
Yes.
that continue to exist in this nation. Is that
Yes.
right?
Hmm.
And you've been on the favored side as
Yes.
opposed to others.
Hmm.
Right? How does it make you feel?
Well, for one, it makes me feel. It doesn't make me feel anything about me, because it's just part of who I am. It's part of my identity. My gender, my ethnicity.
Yeah.
But it makes me feel bad for the people that don't have the privilege
Mm.
and the harassment that they experience in the same situation, like they would go through. It makes me wonder, what would have happened if I wasn't a white male?
Mm.
What would have happened if this is one of my black friends? What would happen if this was one of my Asian friends? What would
Mm.
happen if this was one of my Latino friends or something like that? Like, I don't know.
If somebody pushed back and tell and say that what you're saying is not real, Michael, what you're saying does not exist. You're just making this up. How do you respond to that? Because if people think that there's nothing like systemic racism, and it's just people trying to complain.
Well, if you don't believe in systemic racism, then you probably don't have a good historical context of the United States and the politics in the United States. Um, it, pretty much since it was founded in Chesapeake Bay,
Mm.
and I was a history major in college. That was my thing. I was more into ancient history, but they give you a lot of modern American history, and I was very focused on post Civil War United States, and you could see a lot of racism and the systemic racism since the end of the Civil War.
All right, so that favors one against the many others, or is it who's the beneficiary basically of racism in this nation?
The beneficiaries are usually the people in power,
Mm.
and the way they do that is to keep others down. So the people that are generally in power are white males. They have some females in there, which is, I mean, great for diversity. They have some African Americans in there. They're progressing. You know, I don't like the term progressive
Mm.
because we should always be looking to progress.
Right,
Stagnation is almost worse than failure because you could rebuild from a failure. Stagnation is terrible.
right.
The benefits of this stuff would mostly be white males.
Wow. Well, we thank you for pointing that out. But you're basically identifying an issue or saying that we got a problem.
Mhm.
And if we got to move forward, is we have to fix that problem. So, what do you say is a solution to what we experience today?
Solution. Wow, that's tough. I think that we need to address each other's as individuals. We need to be cognizant and recognize the differences in our backgrounds, appreciate our own individual journeys as well as the journeys of other people,
Right.
and listen to each other instead of listening in the echo chamber. Listen to different perspectives and start documenting and giving a real voice to those. And if there's an inequity, try to correct the inequity.
Yeah, basically, everybody must be given a voice.
Yes.
Their opinion matters. Don't
Yeah.
silence people with their opinions. Let them share and become beneficiaries of this great freedoms that we experience today. All right. And from a biblical perspective, what do you think is the solution to this biasness and this racial issues that we see today?
From a biblical perspective, we all have to look at the fact that we've all been created by God. We've all been created by God in his image. No matter, if we're male, female,
Right.
No matter gender, racial design or skin color, whatever it is, we sexuality. We've all been created by God in his image for a reason.
All right, awesome. Well, this has been very mind opening, and we're going to continue and pick up here with this issue of everybody having a voice and being able to present the truth in a way that helps people advance in life and helps different people groups to be able to relate with one another and to experience life in a way that benefits all. Have equity and diversity represented in all areas of life. Thanks, Michael. This is you of Can You Believe It? So welcome again to yet another episode of my interactions and discussions of life with Michael Morrissey. Thanks again.